My name is Thorsten Overgaard. I'm a Danish photographer. I travel the world taking photographs and teaching photography. Today I will talk about the Leica M240. Actually, I won't talk that much about it, but I'll show a video interview I did with the product manager, Stefan Daniel of Leica, when the Leica M240 was released. And it's an interview I found here recently, and it's very unusual because we were lying on the floor doing it for different reasons. Before I get into it, below the video here there is free downloads. There is presets for Lightroom and styles for Capture One, and it's my Leica styles. So if you have a Fuji or a Olympus or some other camera and you really want a Leica, you can download that and perhaps you can make it look like a Leica. We'll do that again. Before I get into it, below the video here I have some links for free downloads. One of them is my Lightroom presets and Capture One styles for Leica looks, and that is presets and styles you can use to make color or black and white from Leica cameras, Leica Q, SL, M, but also from Sony, Fujifilm, Hasselblad, and so on to get a Leica look. Normally they're $48, today they're free. You just put in the code and your email and you have them in a few minutes to start playing with. Also, as a new thing, I will make a little something with this Always Wear a Camera mug. You make a comment in the video below. You don't have to say anything wise, but I'll just select two comments and then I'll send you a free mug, and you can get it in, it comes with black or red handle. Let's actually just say I'll send you one of each, two people. So just put any comments below and then I'll draw in a couple of weeks and send them to you. Doesn't matter where in the world you are. The Leica M240 that I have here, this is actually one of the very first production samples I have here, and this one traveled the world and I used it a lot. And I actually I was just looking at it again here because I don't use this camera a lot. I just had borrowed it out for a couple of months to a friend at a magazine so he could use it for portraits. But I looked, and one of the first photographs I took of it is actually my best-selling gallery print, Shadowland, that I took in Copenhagen. I was waiting outside in the street one morning and then this photograph happened, and there was actually, I think the second or the third day I had the Leica M240. Another one here, also a best-selling gallery print, is my daughter Robin Isabella in Istanbul, and that is also taken with the Leica M240. And as we move on, we get M10, M11 and what have you, and more megapixels and everything. Sometimes I go on my website and I look at pictures, or I look in my archive and I see, sometimes I stumble over photos and I think, wow, that looks really good. And that is one of the things you can say. It happened a couple of times. I mean, Leica M9 is a classic. It has beautiful colors and everything, and the whole feel of the camera is great. The Leica M Monochrom, the original one, is also a camera where often I look at the pictures, and especially with the luxury, I look, wow, this is so, the clarity of this black and white is amazing. And then also the M240, surprisingly enough, because the M240, one of the big things when the Leica M240 came out was that it was the first Leica with a CMOS sensor. So this camera, well, it has a different look, and back then it was like, oh no, the world is going to end now, was kind of like the consensus. When I look back at the pictures in color and black and white, I actually like the look and I like the clarity of it. It's 24 megapixel sensor, and it's still a camera that still goes strong on eBay and secondhand market, and a lot of people have it from back then and still use it. And this camera without lens sells for around $3,000 on the second-hand market. You can get limited editions like the Safari one, it's like $7,000–8,000. And there's actually made a few different ones. This one is also the first one that came, the Leica MD262. This is M240. MD262 was the first Leica without a screen on the back. So it didn't have a screen here, it just had an ISO dial. So a lot of interesting things with this camera, and one of the things you could say, the sensor, despite the revolution we had back then, that we're going to go from CCD to CMOS, the sensor actually have great clarity and has nice colors, and it actually have very detailed black and white pictures when you edit them into black and white. And it's 24 megapixels, so it's almost, I mean, it's fast to edit and you have enough resolution. 24 megapixels is enough to make a photograph, no doubt about it. And then when I was preparing for this video, I was just looking like, wow, I actually have, this was the camera where you could choose the frame lines inside the viewfinder. It's normally white, but here you could choose to have them red. And the reason was that this was the first camera where normally on a Leica there's a little window here to just pick up light and illuminate the frame lines. So of course they're going to be the same color as whatever light comes, so that means white daylight. But here is LED, so that gave the choice to have red frame lines, and I actually really like that. I know it's a ridiculous little detail, but I really like it. And as I said, this camera has been going really strong. I have been traveling all over the world. I had this one, I also have a silver one. And this one I had engraved Leica up here on the top plate. This is the original one with the red dot. So normally the top plate was black. So I had Leica engraved, and that's something I think Leica can still do with almost any camera. And then came the Leica M240 version without the logo, and then it has an engraved with Leica and then made in Wetzlar or somewhere. Yeah, but beautiful classic camera. And one thing you should notice also, this is black paint. Anything like a black paint just skyrocketed in price, at least when it gets like 20, 50 and 70 years old and really brassed. And you could say one of the controversies with the new Leica is that it's not, the black paint cameras is not black paint, it is black something else. So they're never gonna get this brassing, and they're never gonna get this glossy black. But here it comes with the standard model. You don't even have to buy a special limited edition anything. It is black paint. So when the Leica M240 was released in Photokina in 2012, Photokina is like the big photo exhibition fair in Germany. It doesn't actually happen anymore. The last one was in 2020. Maybe they come back with it, but that was like a special thing. You would go to Germany and you would hang out in nowhere with a few thousand other people for a few days, and then you would go home and you would be really tired looking at tripods from China and cameras from Germany and Japan and what have you, and meeting a lot of photographers and professionals in the industry and a lot of software people presenting new printers and new software and screens, what have you. So that was like the party of the year, but it wasn't every year. So anyways, I went there to see the Leica M240 release, and then I talked to Stefan Daniel, the product manager of Leica. So he has been working with Leica since he was 16, and he's not 16 anymore, so he's been there for a while. And now he is the product manager. He's basically the guy just below the CEO and the owner. And for different reasons, and that is quite fun looking back at now, especially the face of Stefan Daniel, is that I decided we're gonna lie on the floor doing this interview, because this was back in the day. I didn't do a lot of video, I didn't have a great video camera, so I used the MacBook Pro, and I decided, okay, the way to get the best sound and the best view and the most interesting video, we're gonna lie on the floor in this little booth, meeting room office I had at the fair. And Stefan, surprisingly enough, thought, let's just do it. He didn't mind lying down for a little bit. And also I thought so many interviews was like two people sitting by a table and talking very serious about serious matters and technical matters like cameras. So here is the replay of Stefan Daniel and me lying on the floor and talking cameras. So here we are. I'm here with Stefan Daniel. And we are lying on the floor in his office in Photokina. Of course, I thought we should relax a little bit. It's also very practical. You can have all the cameras here lying on the floor. We have a black and a chrome M, and we also have an ME that we will talk a little bit about. And then I also have my old camera here, the old M9. We can talk about comparisons of sound and so on. And one of the things I actually wanted to hear about is the image quality, the new sensor. How much can you tell about that?
Yeah, so we have here in the new Leica M a completely new developed CMOS sensor. We call it the Leica CMOS, the Leica Max CMOS sensor. That's a development we've made in cooperation with a Belgian company called Simosis, and we're producing this sensor completely in Europe. And we think that we have a state-of-the-art sensor in the full-frame era, and we are also a little bit proud of it.
And how much have you seen of the image, or how much? I mean, you still have until probably January, February, or something to tweak the sensor.
So the sensor from itself has a quite progressive design because it has a good exactance angle of different light rays. So that means from telecentric to the incident angle, which have a very flat instant in our M lenses. So and we do that by a very flat stacking from all the way from the pixel itself, from the era, the light sensitive era, to the very top of the sensor, means the micro lens. We have this distance very small. That makes that it is not sensible to different angles of light rays coming in onto the pixel. That makes it that we don't need a micro lens shift anymore, which we had on the M9. And we can use our lenses as well as the M lenses.
And how, because CMOS have been used in the cameras, and I know that usually it's said that Canon files require a lot of work. So and also a lot of people like the CCD, the look of it, and it's supposed to be. The ideals is supposed to be the protocol look. So how with the CMOS? I mean,
that's an interesting question because people refer the look of the image to the type of the sensor.
Yeah, of course.
This is true and it is not true because you have on a Leica camera, of course, the lenses. The lenses do also a good part of the how the image feels in the end. Then on Leica cameras, we don't use the anti-aliasing filter. That's another important point.
Yeah, because people keep asking if there's an AA filter or not an AA filter. And in the brochure, there's no mention of it, but it's not there.
Yeah, we don't need to mention what we don't have.
No, but it's just because people think normally a CMOS it has an AA filter. So
no, this is a CMOS sensor without the AA filter, and this also is part of the special rendering of Leica images. And even more important is the image processing in the camera. And the type of sensor itself doesn't play a big role in that.
So how certain are you that the image quality, or we're going to like the image quality better of the CMOS compared to the CCD?
We have done some internal testing. There's still a lot of work to do, but we see from the basic information we get out of the sensor that we will have a very nice image quality, and I think no worries to make over the image quality of the M9 compared to the M9.
Yeah. And when the camera comes out, will there be a Lightroom, a camera raw profile immediately?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're working on that, but we need to have the camera image quality right first, and then give it to Adobe, and then have the profile.
Okay, that would be really interesting. And what about, how much can you say about the ISO? I mean, the camera I saw the first evening at only 500 ISO and nothing else.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea how, I mean, one thing, like normally cameras, they will say that they go to 6400 ISO,
and that means you can usually use the 3200 ISO.
Yeah, yeah.
So what is the highest ISO that is going to be in the camera, and what is the highest ISO?
So we're targeting for 6400 maximum ISO. We have a basic ISO of 200. And but the last word is not spoken yet. How good it will be, because the camera is simply not ready yet.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's also look at the camera. There's new features, but there's one thing, of course. The first thing you look at the camera is you see the design. It has a few things. It has a few extra buttons here, and it's square buttons instead of the round ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has like a menu here, and then it has gotten like a wheel here, and it's gotten a new button up here. You can actually see it better on the black one. And then it has also this button. Yeah,
that's the movie button here.
That's the movie button, on and off.
Yes.
Okay. And what about the design of how this? Is this like the final design, or is this still prototypes that it will change?
These are prototypes, but in the appearance there will not be much difference to the serial product. So we have a 3-inch display, and it was quite a tough job to fit it into a relatively small M, because we wanted to keep also top cover base plate like this, and to combine it with a rangefinder. So that was quite a challenge to have that. We have on this side we have one more button. That's why we also had to change from the round button with the typo underneath to the fact that we have to put the typo on the button in order to locate these buttons.
Yeah, it has the live view button here. Is the new
one. That's the top button. It's live view, and then it's pretty much the same like on here.
And what the type of button here? Because I'm thinking like if I'm wearing gloves, I don't do that that often because I'm usually in warm places. But the other one had the round ones, and you're just used to it that this is how I like it. M digital looks, it has round buttons, and now it has square buttons, and they're more flat. Is that going to change? Like this is it, you know?
This is pretty much our current status. But of course, we have now to collect also more opinions. And if this would turn out to be an issue, which I don't think, then of course we may change it.
Okay. And then you have the sensor here is it has like it's a little bit black line over on this side. It's just like covered here. It's not because the picture's missing. Is that just
that's where the housing of the display is.
Okay.
So and we wanted to give the whole camera a more complete shape. And that's why we covered a part of the housing of the display under the glass.
Okay. Yeah. Because when I used it the first night, I didn't notice that this was here. It was just later on an internet forum I saw somebody said something else. The picture was missing, but it's just because this one is here. So.
No, that's a design trick, so to say.
And what then you have on this one? This one has a chrome button. Is that like it's not going to be chrome?
No, this is going to stay chrome.
Okay.
Okay. As the shutter release is chrome, and the hot shoe is chrome.
Okay. And then be with
and these buttons in the front and in the rear also chrome. So that it isn't too boring.
Okay. Good. And then it has 4 small holes up here for.
That's a microphone.
That's the microphone.
It's a microphone.
And it had a loudspeaker. That's like the 3 holes. You can barely see them more next to the screen.
Yes.
Okay. And this I think should somewhere else, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, but it works pretty well. Okay. For a built-in microphone, of course, it's only a mono microphone. It works quite well.
Okay. I just like.
But of course, there's also a microphone adapter, which you can put on to the hot shoe, and it will have a plug for the standard microphones, and also there's a little stereo microphone, which then comes right here on the top of the camera.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then when I looked at the camera the first day, I took off the lens, and then I looked into the camera here, and I have the 6-bit encoding thing is a little bit smaller, but it's still the same. And the focus mechanism is the same here. And I still have the stripes on the shutter curtain, and then I have the light meter sitting down here. And everything looks the same here, and there's nothing here that indicates there's going to be autofocus anytime soon or anything. But then when I turn on the camera, at least the first day, I could hear the shutter go up. Will I actually have to put on the lens for it to do that or something? I mean, how does this thing with the shutter work?
So we have a new shutter. By the way, everything on this camera, even if it looks quite the same, is new.
Okay.
The only thing is from a structure, the rangefinder, which we have taken over from the M9, but also improved here accuracy for the new camera. But anything else on the camera is really developed completely new: battery, shutter, housing, sensor, image electronics, display, buttons, everything.
Yeah. Because also the whole body is one big one button.
Yeah.
Okay. We can get back to that.
It's more like a tank now. Coming back to the shutter. The shutter is a new development, and we call it a dual type shutter, because normally in the industry either you have open type shutters used for CSC cameras, or you have closed type shutters which you use for the normal DSLR cameras. Here we have a dual type shutter because we have the normal traditional rangefinder mode where you use it with the shutter closed, do the exposure, and then it's closing again. That's why you have the gray stripes on the sensor for the light metering in the normal rangefinder mode. If you use it in the live view mode, the shutter will go up, will go open to allow the live view picture, and then for the exposure it will close down, open up for the exposure, and then stop the exposure and go up again, go open again. So that is quite a difference for that camera. So it depends how you set the camera. If you set it to the optical finder, there is no, the shutter won't open, and it will behave just like an M9. But if you use it in live view, or if you use it with the shutter open and the sensor active for multi-field metering or for spot metering, this will be done from the sensor, then you will have that click in the beginning.
Okay. And then when you take the picture, the shutter will actually go down and up again to
But as it is very fast, you will hardly recognize that there is something happening.
Yeah, but just the first time I turned it on, the shutter went up, so that's simply just because that camera was in live view mode.
Yes.
And I turned
that's
it on, so
that's
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we designed the camera to behave exactly like an M9 if you use it in the traditional mode. Everything we did is only on top, in addition to the functions you already know.
Yeah.
But there is no drawback by having these new functions. If you would like to, you can use it like an M8 or M9.
Okay. Yeah. And then press live view, and then it's going to show what I turn on the camera. So you see. Yeah, that is. Now I have live view, so you can see here. Okay.
Quite interesting on M camera. Sometimes we also have to adapt to that because it's not common yet.
No, I see the video feature also as just like that would be interesting to see how does the launch look.
Yeah.
And then you could imagine that maybe in 3 years or 6 years there will come something more dedicated if it's a big success or something.
Yeah.
But it's just
I'm really looking forward what people will do with the Noctilux in the video. Because up to now it hasn't been possible.
No, exactly. Yeah, well, you could put it on the red cameras, but I don't know that many who did it.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. Cool. There was one question I had. There's this little thing here.
Yeah.
Little dot here between.
That's an ambient light sensor. So you can set in the menu that you want to have an automatic brightness control of the rear monitor, and there needs to be kind of sensor to tell the camera how bright the the monitor should be.
So that means if you're outside in the sunshine, the
Yeah.
monitor will actually be bright.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Also, what's concerning the frame lines, we now have the frame lines with electronic illumination, yeah, like on the M9 Titanium. But you can switch them also in the menu from white to red, if you like to.
Yeah. So that's also, we don't have the window here anymore
Yeah.
in front like we have on the old one. So it looks a little bit different now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gave us also the possibility to put the red dot right up
In
from
the
the
center,
lens, in
yeah.
the center.
German design. Yeah. Okay. And then we have the button plate is
Yeah.
also new. I noticed when I opened the first time that now there's a hole through this one, if you can see it. I don't know.
So the tripod
simply
plate
just-
is on the camera itself.
Yeah,
It's
so this is just
no
the-
longer on the base plate.
Yeah. So it's sitting here.
Yeah.
And then I also noticed there is some rubber. On
Yeah,
this.
there's
Maybe not on this one, but there
there-
was on. Or is it here? It is.
No, here's a rubber part.
Yeah, there is a rubber
Not on
part.
this one.
Mm.
You see, we're still in the prototype phase.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But anyhow, we have the body is completely weather sealed. Yeah. So from the top, from all the buttons here, these buttons, for example, they don't have mechanical parts moving.
Okay.
So the outer part is completely sealed from the inner part.
Okay.
Yeah. Same for the on-off switch and the
That's a new
shutter
thing.
release. That's a new thing.
Okay.
So the camera is really weather sealed, so you can
Yeah.
use it in almost the most worst conditions. You may wonder that there is a plastic
Yeah, I
part.
just saw it on this one. There's a plastic for the SD card.
Having Wi-Fi with a full metal body is not that easy because the Wi-Fi antenna will decrease in power. So what we did is we put a plastic part here, able to have a Wi-Fi card in the future, and have a good reception there.
But you could. It looks like you could also, if you take this rubber part off, you can actually. Or can you take it off? It looks like you
No,
change the SD card with this.
Yes, you can destroy it by taking it off. But,
Okay, but that's not the intention.
that's not the intention.
Okay.
To have it.
No. Okay. Yeah. What else? It reminds of like the MacBook. It's just like one piece of metal. It's like. On the old one here is like plastic in the bottom and then
Yes.
it's screwed together. I mean, I have been shooting in rain with this one. I never had an issue with it.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting that now it's actually weather sealed. to
Yeah.
some degree.
So what we did also for the housing, we take this one, the whole housing here, from going from here all the way down from here is one part, and we slide from the top the front part and have the screws right here.
Okay.
So this gives the whole camera a big stability. Even if you use it with R lenses, and you
Yeah.
have it on a tripod, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then if you continue down here now, the SD card is here. This one actually have a SD card.
Yeah, you can see the cameras are not ready, so the SD cards are glued into the
Okay, that's fine.
body.
The first one I saw was empty, so but I didn't want to put in an SD card. But then we have here, this is the plug, we'll get back to what that does. But then we have the battery here, is like, that's a big battery.
Yeah,
compared
so
to-
we doubled the capacity of the battery. It's still 1,800 milliampere hours, but we doubled the voltage. So we
Yeah.
doubled also the power of the battery.
Okay. And then also the CMOS uses less. We can
Yeah,
see
you have
new
kind
and
of
the
a
old one, yeah.
kind of a triple effect because the CCD uses much more power than the CMOS. So we are at a factor of 4. So we have the double capacity of the battery compared to the M9, and we have the Maestro processor, the image processor, the engine,
Yeah.
which also consumes much less power than the DSP solution on the M.
Okay. That's going to
So
be interesting because usually
we'll-
I could shoot
yeah.
almost a full day or full card with one battery.
Mm.
So if I had 2 batteries, that would
Yeah.
used to be enough.
So
yeah.
you're gonna shoot a week now.
Yeah, something like that. Okay.
Yeah,
That's very
of course
interesting.
there's more power consumption in live view, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But we managed to have the sensor consuming very low energy, so it won't heat up. And if it doesn't heat up, or it heats up less, then you will also have less noise issues.
Okay. And then there's one thing with the shutter. Is this the final shutter, you think, or is it like still prototype shutter?
No, this is quite a final shutter.
Okay. Because we can take here, like one thing is that I have my M9 here. It actually got a little bit noisier shutter now, but if I go here, I can take like, and then I can. That was like probably 7 floors, and then I go with this one at the same shutter speed. And then it takes a little bit, and I actually get the preview immediately on this side also. That's interesting, but it's a different shutter sound. It's more silent, but
yeah, it's
more precise, and then
yeah,
it's 3 frames per second instead of 2 now.
Yeah, it's a big difference. So with the fast card, you go up to like 13, 14 images at 3 frames per second, and then you can shoot about 1 frame every 1 second and a half.
Wow. Because before it's like you can do 7 pictures, and then it takes 7 seconds before you can shoot the next one.
Yeah, that's so that's thanks to the Maestro processor, which is much faster.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good sound. You actually don't hear the record, you just hear one click. Yeah. Okay. Good. And then what else do we have? Then we have we have the start and stop, the light.
Yeah.
The live preview, and we have the shutter wheel and stuff.
Maybe you can see also that we have slightly changed the operating concept, because having the bigger screen, there was no space anymore to integrate the wheel here. So we have moved the wheel up here, and we took the occasion also to put a little thumb rest here, so that you have a very nice handiness of the whole thing, and also a good control here of this software. So that's pretty much the same as we have it on our Leica S.
So it does the same that you scroll through the menus. Is it also exposure compensation?
Yes, there's one other button here in the front, which is mainly the so-called focus button. But if you keep this button pressed and scroll the wheel here, then you have exposure compensation.
Okay. And what about this, the focus confirmation, of course, for R lenses and so on, but would you use it also for M lenses?
It depends. If you want to shoot with a long lens, like a 90 or 135, it may be very useful.
Well, for example, I meet people that they have the Monochrom or the Sumilux 50mm, and then they buy all sorts of things to put on here to improve the eyesight. Usually it doesn't help a lot, but some people complain if they get older that they would like to have, like then they go DSLR because they need autofocus or something.
They have, or this focus button has 2 functions. If you press it, or you need to be in live view, okay?
Yeah.
If you press it, you have a magnifier on the back. That means if you now scroll in, you will get a 5 times or 10 times magnification.
Okay.
Yeah. The second function is if you've enabled it in the menu, you have a focus peaking. That means sharp edges, contrast edges, will be highlighted with a red line. So that is another
so you can see
nice
what part
feature.
of the photo is focused by red lines, so almost like highlight.
Yes, it highlights the sharp areas of the image. It's not new. It's a common technology in camcorders, but we've integrated it here at the Leica M, and especially if you have a shallow depth of field or a longer telephoto lens, it makes a lot of sense. In the wide-angle field, we recommend to use the rangefinder, because this is the most accurate thing for shorter lengths.
So it's like a focus 8 is not like the final thing for that.
So two ways of focus assistance. One is the magnifier 5 times, 10 times, and the other one is the focus peaking.
Okay. So this thing, also the wheel here, I guess, is because in the specifications on the website, there's some speculation that the camera has become bigger, but it isn't bigger. It's just this one thing is.
Yeah.
What is the size?
Yeah.
Weight?
The overall size is exactly like the M9.
Yeah.
So the length, the height,
Yeah.
and the width.
Yeah.
But the top cover has become 1 millimeter bigger.
Bigger. That's because it's standing on this one. Yeah.
And because the screen doesn't come out as much as on the M9. That's why it might look a little bigger, but we needed this space in order to allocate the frame of the screen.
I actually don't think it looks bigger. It was just some looked at the specification and thought it had to be bigger.
Sometimes it's like on a new car, you know. Some you say, oh, it looks odd, it looks not familiar, and if you see it for half a year, then it's becoming totally normal.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just. I think we covered most of it, but let's just take the bottom plates and then we can take the deeper viewfinder after this, because there's 2 bottom plates, and as far as I know, they come with this thing from. You stole it from the titanium. It comes in 3 sizes. This rubber thing.
Yeah. So first of all, we have a multifunction hand grip. This multifunction hand grip has 5 functions. That means we have a GPS module in it. We have also on the back okay, working?
That's fine.
Yeah,
I hope so.
On the back we have 4 plugs. One is a classic synchro socket. Then we have a TTL flash connector. And on this side we have a DC power in and a USB plug. And the interesting thing about the USB plug is you can use it like a Leica S, for example in the studio, and shoot tethered directly into the computer.
But this is like almost you're preparing the M for a lot of studio users.
Yeah, I think the limitations of an M it had up to now become less, because you can use it more versatile. I'll be very curious what people will do with an M in the future.
That's what I'm thinking. Like
it's
you get the GPS, but you also get a few extra things that you can actually. Okay.
But always never at the compromise for the core of an M and how you shoot with it.
No. You can just do without this. But then you have this one now, both of them we have here with all the plugs in the GPS, and there's also one where it's just a base plate with a grip.
There's also a
rubber thing.
Kind of stupid hand grip and not intelligent.
Yeah, but a lot of people like this.
This is also an additional feature. As you said, it's from the M9 titanium. You can just screw it on. Comes in 3 sizes for different fingers.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea. Could be a good idea. And then we have, I think that's almost the last thing, we have the
EVF. Electronic viewfinder is the same as we have it for the Leica X2. And last but
then
not
I actually
least,
have the shape, like I can take it like the Visoflex. It reminds me of the Visoflex design.
We call it also Visoflex.
You do?
EVF means electronic Visoflex.
Oh.
Okay. And then you go. Here is the R solution.
So this is, because I was looking at this. So this is actually the converter, and it has like for the tripod as well.
Yeah. There is a tripod foot on here, but you can take it off if you don't like it or if you don't need it.
Yeah.
But for heavy lenses, which don't have a separate tripod thread, you can use it on a tripod. Okay. Just like this.
Yeah.
Here I have a 100mm Apo R lens. And in combination with the EVF and everything, you have an M camera which can shoot macro, or imagine a long telephoto lens on it, or a zoom lens. Extended versatility of the whole system.
And it's still, I mean, because I was looking at, there's a picture on the net of this one also on my website with the hand grip and this and the viewfinder. You can say now you actually have a good grip on it. It's like a SLR, but it's just small. But it still have like.
But you can't disassemble a DSLR. It stays as big as it is.
Exactly.
here you can extend it modularly.
Yeah. Okay. So you start producing R lenses again then?
Maybe not R lenses, but we might think of additional M lenses with a broader field of usage. But R lenses, I think they go up in prices, and those who have asked me, I never said sell your R lenses, keep them, and here is the proof.
Yeah, I have a few R lenses, so you have a good offer, just email me. So, okay, so I think we got around everything on this one. Probably people don't have more questions, but I think it's like when you hold it, that's it's much easier to see and feel the design when you hold it. There's also a few things like the bottom plate here has almost gone back to the MP, and so it's not all new.
Yeah. Sometimes we try to listen to customers.
Yeah, but the thing I see is that now there's so many cameras with the Monochrom and the ME, so. And I talked to different people, and some said no, they would actually professional says yeah, but I will keep the M9 and then will buy some MEs next time. And some say no, I'm just going to stay with the Monochrom. I don't like this new electronic, and some really like this. So it's going to be spread all over, and some are going to have all of them, and some are going to like the Monochrom better.
In fact, we wanted to create a family of M cameras. Having, if you want to use our glass, you go for the M. If you want to shoot best black and white pictures, go for the Monochrom. And if you like just pure rangefinder photography, you go for the Leica ME.
And this is the Leica ME that only so far comes in this color?
Right.
Military grey.
Yeah, we call it anthracite grey. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay.
But it's quite similar to military grey. Yeah, I agree.
And what happened to this camera? Because it's basically the M, like you told me the other day, that the M9 was so good, it was a pity not to continue with it.
Yeah.
But then you changed, like, there's no
frame selector
over here.
And the USB port is gone.
Yeah, that was also kind of useless.
Yeah.
And what else changed? Is there anything changed on the sound of the shot?
The camera itself, from a technical part, is based on the M9, and there's no technical change compared to the M9. Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, you said it. We made this camera because we sold the M9 very well. It's very well received, appreciated by customers, and it would really have been a pity to just phase it out and not offer this camera anymore. So we have a more affordable also entry in the Leica M system, because we have now paid off all the jigs, the tools, and everything, and we can give this advantage in price a little bit over to our new users.
But it's also what I heard a lot of people saying before Photokina and the new Leica M is that, but I actually like my M9, so I don't need an M10. And that's kind of the answer to that.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
And probably also the M9 will stay in a good price, and people can then select M9P and M9 in different colors.
Yes.
And I guess with this lineup, it also gives the possibilities that then in a year there's going to be a big launch of the silver edition of this one, or the black one, or something like that. Or you can maybe have like special made from the factory or something.
Yeah. So, as you
but
know,
it's a starting point.
Yeah. As you know, there's no end of progress.
No. Okay. Then I actually had some personal questions, because I heard that you were born in the Leica factory.
That's almost true, but not really.
Okay.
I just started when I was 16 in 1984.
Yeah.
And since then I stayed at Leica.
But you're doing something different now than you
did. I did an apprenticeship in mechanics. I worked at the technical service, repairing cameras, all kind of that. I went to France for Leica. Then I had a job as a product manager for slide projectors in our Braunschweig factory in the north of Germany. Then came back and went into product management.
Okay. And sometimes when I go to the factory, to the customer service or something, then I drive there and I arrive late, and the factory is supposed to be closed, but there's actually people in the reception 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. It seems like people just work. I mean, I know you're busy there, but it also seems that people just that hang around the place. It's like almost like a lifetime. How is it for you to work with Leica? I mean, you've been there since 16, like you were 16 years.
Yeah.
And you're here like a Photokina, you don't even seem tired of it. Like you look like you're enjoying it.
Come back on Saturday or Sunday.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
No, it's Leica is much more than a job. You know, we share the same passion for the product, for the brand, as many as our customers do. And it's absolutely great fun to work for that company. And for me personally, it's a big honor to, you know, add a little part in the history of Leica. So, but this is true for many of the people, whether they are in marketing or in production or in R&D. Many of the Leica people are really committed to the company, dedicated to the company, and they don't count in working hours. And they really want to participate in the brand, and it's a part of our life. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's also an impression I have when I go there. I didn't want to ask you that, but actually now you said that you share the passion. I mean, do you have time to photograph yourself, and do you have a favorite camera? Or like, what do you photograph?
The big point. Yeah. Dealing with cameras all day long, I have really to take great care to find the space, find the time to take pictures myself, which I enjoy. But I think I need to take a week off after Photokina and just go out and shoot and have fun taking pictures.
Yeah. No, but it doesn't. I mean, you don't have to take photos to work on a camera factory, but of course it does. And then I had another thing I want to hear to learn more about you. What kind of music do you like?
Kind of music,
Yeah, what kind of music do you like to listen to?
Pretty much interested in classic music. Bach is my favorite. Absolutely. I like jazz and all kind of, you know, everyday, daily music. A little bit of everything, but I have a devotion to classics.
Okay. And then one last question: if you could have any car in the world, which car would you like to have?
Actually, I have that car because I was dreaming when I was like 6 or 8 of a Jaguar E-Type. I had that for a little, you know, the little race.
I had a bigger one. Mine was like this. Until my daughter found it.
And 6 years ago, I bought one in a 1-to-1 scale.
Okay. And you don't drive it all year?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks
for lying
welcome.
here on the floor.
Yeah.
I know it's unusual, but it's actually very practical.
My first interview on the floor.
I hope you enjoyed this very unusual interview and all the information in it, and I subtitled it because it's really hard to hear what we're saying. German and Danish accent with a bad microphone. Remember, below the video there is links to free downloads, and also make a comment in the comment field and you might win 2 beautiful Always Wear a Camera cups or mugs for your coffee or tea. Thank you for watching, and till I see you next time, remember to always wear a camera.